Expensive heels with these gold heels on it. It looked like butt plugs. Every time I saw them, and even when she posted it, and then when she wore it, I was waiting for the right moment to capture it and posted it. I had like 90 comments on it, and now I keep getting people sending me pictures of butt plugs. if it's like some things,
we actually sent you a butt plug. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like there was a gun the other day. I don't even know. I didn't look into it. Like gun with that, and then there's like a 2014 at a big soccer tournament or some sports thing where they had this huge 20-foot thing that looks like butt plug, and people sending me this stuff. Now when people think of butt plugs, they think of me apparently.
World-class lessons from the real estate industry's top 1%, empowering agents to think bigger and do more to create life by design. You get access to exclusive interviews with top producing real estate professionals. Listen in as we talk about their journey in the business, best practices, and lessons learned. Hosted by KIRO, NASRALAH, and John Scipione.
I mean, one thing that we always say in our office is just action is better than perfection, right?
This is Light It Up with Lighthouse Residential.
All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Light It Up podcast. We are thrilled to have with us today team leader of Team Fast, Kenny Fast, out of Oakland, California, 13 years in the business. Kenny, thank you so much, man, for spending some time with us today.
Oh yeah, thanks for the invite.
Of course.
Excited to go through this conversation and see what comes out of it. We had Elias on a couple weeks ago, and that was an awesome conversation. It was funny because in the beginning of Elias's episode, we were like, listen, we have Kenny coming on in a couple of weeks, so don't give us too much. He's like, listen, we're both completely different. So you're going to get two different aspects of it. So we're excited for this. All right.
Jump into the lightning round.
Go ahead.
So as we told you, Kenny, we like to start with this lightning round. Yeah. Unrelated to real estate, hit you with some pointed questions just to get the conversation flowing here a little bit. I like this one. Kenny, what mistake do you keep making over and over again?
One common one that's been happening I've actually been purposely trying to make this mistake, so make me a more kind person, is try to keep staff a little longer and giving them a benefit of the doubt. We've had a lot of virtual assistants suck, and my team says fire them. I was like, well, let me give them one more try. Let's hop on the call with them, see how we can work it out. Let's give them an extension, and it has not worked out.
Ouch.
I would rather just fire people quick, but I've been trying to try the other way around, but it has not been working.
Yeah, I think I can relate to that one. Anybody watching this?
You have that habit.
Well, I mean, it hasn't worked in the business sense, but I feel like it's making me a more kind, compassionate person, which I'm not known for.
All right. What stereotype do you completely live up to?
I just don't give a fuck. Like I post all kinds of stupid shit online and talk a lot of trash to people about companies, whatever. And that's kind of how I built my brand over the last year, and it just keeps working for me. So I keep sticking to it.
Yeah, it's raw.
Polarizing. My coach says all your content needs to be polarizing. You don't have an opinion or is bland, then no one's really gonna follow it. And no one really wants to like engage or comment on it. It's just like, oh great, that sounds cool, but oh my god, he said that. Well, how do I feel about it?
That's a good point. There was a story that you posted, Kenny, during I guess it was a holiday party. Did you see that with the heels?
No.
I can't get that out of my mind. He compared the heels of this girl that
she
had.
Butt plugs.
Butt plugs. And I'm just like, I was looking at it. I was just like, damn. I don't know if that's like borderline HR. Do you have an HR department, or did you fire those people too?
No, there's no HR department in real estate.
Well, there kind of is like. There is, because then like most managers, I'm at eXp, if I mentioned that, but like if you were at Compass, at Sotheby's, somewhere else, I don't think they would allow you, or would definitely a manager give me a call, because my friend has some very expensive Christian Louboutins or something. I don't know. I don't wear them. Yeah. Louis Vuittons, expensive heels with these gold heels on it. It looked like butt plugs. Every time I saw them, and even when she posted it, and then when she wore it, I was waiting for the right moment to capture it and posted it. I had like 90 comments on it. And now I keep getting people sending me pictures of butt plugs. if it's like some things.
We actually sent you a butt plug. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like there was a gun the other day. I don't even know. I didn't look into it. Like gun with that, and then there's like a 2014 at a big soccer tournament or some sports thing where they had this huge 20-foot thing that looks like butt plug, and people sending me this stuff. But now when people think of butt plugs, they think of me apparently. It's how you keep conversation going. I thought you were gonna bring up the one about like talking about why people stay broke, and that had like 90 comments. I posted that during while I was at this fancy hotel restaurant thing. But yeah, like you give people stuff to talk about, and you make people talk to each other about it, and become kind of like controversial. And that's really what keeps you ahead. As long as you're not being unethical, doing anything illegal, or just being an asshole just for sake of being an asshole, I think like just bringing discussions to topics.
Yeah.
It's, just makes, and then can you, like you brought it up, right? Like, oh yeah, I can't believe Kenny said that or that. And that was there like just less than a week ago, or not a week and a half ago.
Yeah. It's like you're just walking the fine line, but you're not overgoing it. But it's like you're there enough to be like, because I could probably name 3 of your videos that I'm just like on top of my head. Even when we jumped on this call, I was like, don't beat packages up with those golf clubs anymore, because it's funny and it just stands out overall, which is good. All right, hit next question.
How do you get in the way of your own success?
I think it's still trying to micromanage some projects, or like trying to, instead of like fully delegating things out. I'll just give you like a quick example. I've been trying to build this intranet for like 2 years now, and I finally got this web designer I paid almost screwed me over. It took me literally like over a month, and calling her 10 times, emailing her a ton, and threatening lawsuit until I got my password. Got my password. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna build his whole intranet. Well, and then I had on this a company with a new web development company. I said, we'll do it for you. I was like, oh, let me try it myself. And I spent like an hour yesterday. I could only make this like 3 things show up on the screen. I was like, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I really just hand things off to other people. Sometimes I want to like just try things out to learn it, have some fun. I've been wanting to cut my own videos for a while now. I actually set up an entire studio. I have 2 offices. This is one of my office. I have their office literally like 15 feet away from me, with like your setup, like dark room setup with the crazy lights and all that. I was like, I want to learn some video editing. I'm sure that's not the best use of my time, and they'll probably slow me down on making content, but I really want to do that and it's not going to help me do business faster. It's just more like a hobby. So like some of the things but I also think people need hobbies, right? You can't just be all in and delegate 100% of everything.
Yeah, you need to find some joy in the mundane boredom.
Learning process, so I thought building websites would be fun. It was frustrating. I didn't mind, or doing my own Canva projects and that. So I really like marketing. So some of that stuff slows down the company a little bit, but my hours of work might pivot the company 1 or 2 degrees this way or that way, which overall long term could be better, but short term people probably think it's a stupid waste of time. I've spent like 6 or 7 hours on Canva this week. I've been posting on my stories. You see, I'm working on. To me, it's a really passionate project. It's something no one else is doing, and it's just a stupid Canva picture. But there's going to be 60 of those pictures.
Kenny, you could probably be at like 500 agents instead of 365 if you stop fucking around with Canva.
I think so. Hey, we're recruiting as fast as we could right now.
Well, that's what happens when you're number 1 in eXp for 2 years in a row. You just go in and start cutting videos.
You're like, we could grow the business faster. I'm like, how much faster? Really?
That's the thing. Like, but then a lot of it too is how I build my business. So it's not just one way. Like showing people what I'm working on how I'm building it, recording the back end of this Canva, talking about the internet. It's also part of my stories. I post on average 50 stories a day for the last 3 months. So that creates content. So that's, again, for the straight business point growth, that's pretty mundane and doesn't add value, but it does add value to my brand. Hey, this is what I'm working on, which adds more people following me, which adds more comments, which in turn creates agent attraction, which is recruiting. But I can't say someone saw this stupid video of me on Canva and recruit it. But yeah, we've actually recruited over 500 team members to our team in the last 3 years, in less than 3 years. We lost like 170. So we're floating about 360 team members right now.
Do you mind if I ask one more question and we just jump right into?
Go ahead.
All right. If you had to have dinner with 3 people, either dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I think Elon Musk is going to be one of them, just so I can post some stupid pictures and ask some stupid questions and get some really smart answers back.
You serious?
Oh, maybe like a dead president or something. I don't follow history. I don't really care for sports, so it's not a lot of people I like look up to, admire. Maybe like and find like a funny actor back in the day. Like I like comedy, so who's a funny actor that kind of passed? Maybe like Robin Williams or something cool.
John hates it every time I ask that question.
Well, I hate that you asked 3 because everybody says 1 or 2 and then they struggle on the 3rd.
What's your most common answer of someone they want to meet? It's not Jay-Z, right?
I think common would be family. No, not Jay-Z.
No, I think
a couple of people said family.
Yeah,
that's the most common. There's no like specific person that they would meet with, but that would be funny if it was Jay-Z because of that whole bet that they had, $20 million. All right, cool. Let's jump right into it then. So Kenny, you've been in the industry for 13 years and you've built a top producing team for the last 2 years consecutively, just constantly doubling up production. How did you get into the business? Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey from when you first started till now?
Probably keep it short. I've answered this tons of time and they can drag really long. I got into real estate not on purpose. I just found a gig to store signs at my house, this auction.com signs, and I just stabbed them in the ground all across Northern California. And then some people came to my parents. I lived with my parents at the time. came to my parents' house on the porch and just knocked on my door just out of courtesy. They're supposed to just grab the sign and go. And connected with this guy. He was super funny, this big Nigerian dude. His name was Sonny Peters, like funniest people I met. I was like, and then he asked me if I want to be an assistant, and I literally started work next week. Did that for a year, installing lock boxes, doing BPOs, installing signs, that kind of grunt work. And then until I got my license. And when I got my license, I kind of just, then it took another year. My first year license, I didn't really sell anything because I was working like 3 or 4 other jobs at the time. 3 or 4 other gigs I found on Craigslist at the time because like heavy recession. I think this was the year 2010. Homes in my area were like going for $100,000.
So you sort of fell into the industry, right?
Yeah, I just fell into it. It was just another thing to do. Make some, okay, this seems interesting. But I got really passionate about it within my second year. And it wasn't I don't have a motivational story like, oh, I love helping people and all that. I do, but I saw like, the marketing side of it. I saw, wow, this, because I've been building websites and computers and stuff since 5th grade. So I'm really into technology and social and marketing, all that. So I saw a gap in the market. So I saw ability to like do something with that, and how there wasn't even things like CRMs available at that time yet either. So I was working on spreadsheets. So I saw how behind the industry was and how I can like do something with it. And I started building my brand, this fast agent brand, over 10 years ago. And just grew that from there. Now, like everyone's, big on social, I've been doing social for like 10 years.
Wow.
I heard a podcast that you were a guest on, and you were talking about, you started with the newsletters, and that was gaining traction. Then you were just leveraging social media, and you had minimum standards for how you were posting just for agent attraction, period. And that's how you got a lot of your agents that you recruited on the team as well.
Yeah, early on, I think like 9 years ago. So 9 to 3 years ago. So I did newsletter for 6 years. I think my first one was like Breaking Bad, took the letters BA, and then made it into like FAST. But if you guys go to kennychung.com, again, I haven't updated in 3 years. I took pop culture, like Skittles, Snickers, Pornhub, the Raiders. I was just looking through yesterday, Jumanji, whatever movie or something happening that week. I took the logo and turned it into Fast Agent. I had a professional designer, by the way, so it all looked like super legit. Sold the logo, copied it, and made an entire newsletter, color based on that, design based on that, with typically 5-7 articles with a couple animated GIFs and different icons. And then every week was a different newsletter appealing to someone that might like that product. And then I won a bunch of awards early on for that, and that was what I was known for. And then later on, I did like bus benches. I had 100 bus benches in Oakland at up 99 actually, to be technical. At one point, all I said was Fast Agent on it. So I was able to tie a lot of offline people to come find me online on my website or on social media or on Instagram to discover where I was. So all that is kind of like guerrilla marketing, just being like out there. And again, like some of the newsletters were really out there because one week the entire newsletter might be blue and red and just crazy colors, and another week it might be pink and something. So it was very appealing to whoever liked that. And that's kind of a quick way to build rapport with people. You kind of find something that you both can like and enjoy. And then when I had those newsletters, I would post them on my LinkedIn every single week. I would change my Facebook personal profile cover page every single week, my Twitter feed every week, and send that email every week. So I did that 6 years straight, every single week until the last couple. And then I fell off. I went to a Cabo trip and just partied really hard. Like, no, screw it. This newsletter doesn't make me any money. And it was kind of fading out too. Again, that was a huge passion project for me. Every week, it took me on average 5 to 6 hours to do this newsletter. And I never missed a beat for 6 years.
At that time, though, you were just, a small team, or was it, you were still in production?
Small team. I third year in real estate, started a team. I went up to like 2 or 3 buyers agents by the end of that year. And then by my third year in real estate, when I hired my first assistant, they weren't licensed yet. My third year in real estate, I became the number 1 agent in Oakland for number of units sold, representing buyers. And I was like top 3 for total unit count. So from 3 years to 2 years to actually maybe late last year, I was actually number 1 agent in Oakland for units. My third and fourth year, I had a small team of like 3 or 4. That team thing didn't work out. I joined the next company, Climb Real Estate, which was my 5th year in business. And I said I gave up team. So I moved into more like mentoring agents. Agents still reached out to me. And I ran like the internet online team there. And that also kind of imploded. People just cry and complain a lot. It was until my 5th year at Climb Real Estate, which was my 9th year in business, which was 4 years ago from today, I really formed my true team. This is my 3rd time doing a team where actually, okay, everyone here works for me. I'm the leader. Whatever I say goes. And that's a trouble with a lot of teams. There's not a clear leader, and they're more like groups that kind of combine resources. But that was my 3rd time doing a team 9 years ago. And I grew that from 1 agent to 10 agent within a year. Did about 88 deals that year. The year was number 23 ranked in California for medium-sized teams. And I came eXp less than 3 years ago. January makes 3 years. So I came to eXp about 3 years ago with a team of 12.
What made you want to make that shift from being in production and having a team of a few buyers agents to, I think you said, growing from 1 agent to 10 agents? And sort of at that point, were you sort of taking yourself out of production?
No, I was still very much in production. That 5th year at Climb, actually that 4th year at Climb, so the year before I started a team, I've always did a lot of business, but oddly, I learned how to partner up with agents. So 95, maybe 98% of the homes I've sold in the last 6-7 years, I was on the deal, has been with another person. So at Climb, even though I didn't quite have a team yet, I partnered up with many agents in my office, the experienced ones. But that 4th year, I was at Climb, my 8th year in business, a lot of agents started leaving the Compass. So all my good friends, probably 80% of my friends left the Compass. I was the only guy that's like, well, I don't want to go Compass. So I had trouble keeping up the production because I didn't have partners there. So I was like, you know what, it's time for me to form a real team. And early on that year to the 4th year, we didn't want to afford a 6-figure person to be assistant. So we had 3 people share one assistant. Then later on, one rotated out. And then later one person left. And it was just me and another person. I was like, dude, this is crazy. I don't think we can afford her. Do we cut back our production or cut back her hours? Do we figure something out? And then that summer, business started really booming. I don't know why. Business got really good that year. And it was cool. And then it was growing. I was like, okay, we can do this. And then he left. So now I was left by myself. I was like, okay, I need to form a team because either I had to let you go or I need to build something. And then that 5th year, I built something, and that's where it just got really good. And during that year with new agents too, I was still partnering up with a handful of agents still in my office. It was 3 people I partnered up with, still did 88 transactions that year.
Talk to us a little bit more about partnering up. What do you mean by that when you say you partner up with other agents?
You literally work with a client together 50-50 typically. On the buy side, it's all 50-50 for me, or just bringing another agent to work, which is not very common in most offices and most brands. You typically have a team or a group of agents that work together, but I've always tried to work with different agents. Depending on their experience levels, their areas of specialty. And because I'm really good at lead generation. And before it was online leads, but I was able to generate a lot of online leads. So that was my strength. And because of that, okay, I can get the lead who can find to work with me on it. And for I'll say 90% of agents, the lead gen part is probably a little different now with social media, but I would say maybe 4 or 5 years ago and more, the hardest part about real estate for majority agents is lead generation.
Well, I think that's sort of an interesting segue. So you're saying that you would partner up with these people in your office because you would find the lead and you would find maybe the best person in your office to sort of work that lead.
Sometimes they'll bring me back on some deals, but it was usually I had more deals to give out. So there's I don't know, 5 or 6 agents in the office, and I counted for anywhere from 10 to 30% of their businesses typically.
That's smart.
Not a lot, but it's kind of cool to have some extra business on the side.
And that was at Climb Real Estate.
That was at Climb.
So I'm sure the broker probably wasn't a big fan of you, thinking that you're giving the agents on in the office the leads when he's probably not able to do the same thing.
No, funny enough, the owner there loved it. It's funny because his story was he grew his team to a team of 23, and they were the biggest team in their office for a really big brand, like a $4 billion sales company now in San Francisco, and they grew out of it. But for me, I helped recruit about 70 agents at the office. I really liked it. They really took good care of me. The branding was on point. The first year at Climb, I won, just coincidentally, Climb Real Estate won the most innovative brokerage of the year award, and I won the most innovative agent/broker of the year award. So I was the most coolest person in real estate that year from Inman, and they were the coolest company. So it was a really good alignment. It was great there. I didn't even get a really good split, or what I should have gotten until a couple years later. I didn't ask because I was just so happy there, and they also took care of me. So the second team I didn't really quite mention was middle of my first year there, towards the second. I took over the entire internet team. So I got them to drop up to $50,000 a month on Zillow leads for me. And then I got a referral on every single deal. So I mentored and trained probably close to 100 agents during my time there. And I got paid really well to do that. Kind of like a pre-Zillow Flex team.
What was it that made you want to sort of switch into more of a mentorship role? Was it that you didn't like sort of pounding the pavement working with clients, or were you just like, hey, I can sort of coach these people better than I can actually, grinding out the deals? Yeah,
that mentor role was some of the people I did deals together, but I think I forgot the detail, but they mostly did their own deals. I remember my second year there at Climb, I recruited 15 people, but I know I was on everyone's contract. So I was using the online leads as a platform to teach them how to do business, and they closed it, and I got paid a referral fee. So it was I as an agent only had so much bandwidth, and I still was doing very heavy in production. hands-on with every client. I had like 2 or 3 business partners I work closely with. So I didn't need to work with 10, 15 people like side by side. I could work with 3 or 4 and still do my, 50 deals a year, but still get paid on the other 50, 100 deals that comes to the company that I get a small portion of.
When you look at the 3 pipelines, like you have the lead conversion, lead generation, and back-end administrative, you had the back-end administrative, you had the leads, and then you were using the office for the conversion part.
Yeah, and building up the online profile is huge because Zillow is a really big deal. Less so now because of Flex, so your profile matters less. But I remember that year I combined with my company, I had like 60 sales and 100 reviews, let's just say, and then they had like 100 sales and 6 reviews. So we kind of merged into a mega account. I thought a lot of team leaders would do that too. I thought it was kind of like Power Rangers or Voltron or something. You just merge all the agents. And when you had that profile and then you started adding users to your team and you set their join date, like back in, let's just say this is 2018. Okay, well, I say, well, this agent actually joined me 2012. Not really, but I put that on and boom, all of a sudden I can go from 300 reviews to tomorrow I have 320 reviews and the next person joined that 350 reviews and so on. So I built that account really big and I also got to eat up all their sales. So on Zillow profile, it shows I have 4,000 sales right now. But during that couple of years, I was one of the first people to figure out how to gamify it. And then a lot of team leaders have done that now, but that's not really like the thing, or no one really does that anymore that I'm aware of. So that's also was a huge benefit of promoting that. Hey, I'm the #1 agent on Zillow in the entire market.
Yeah, which is smart. And like, I know you posted a little bit about EOS. When did you get into EOS? And
we haven't yet. I got the workbook and all of that and how to run a yearly business planning clinic. I got it from my mentors, Dan Beer and Kyle Whistle. So we haven't fully integrated yet. I think early next year, we'll probably just try to self-integrate it.
Got it. Wow.
But we work off like that agenda and all that stuff.
Within your office?
Yeah, within my leadership team, we did that. And then we did a light version, a 2-pager for our business planning workshops. We held 3 business planning workshops this year at 3 locations. I think between that, we had like 300 different agents came out to our business planning workshops.
So what does that mean? You do a workshop for the agents within Team Fast?
Yeah, and it was open up to the public.
To help them build a business plan for the next year.
So it's a lot of innovation that's going on. What would you say is the cornerstones of how you built Team Fast now?
Social media, showing and social media. So when I came over to eXp in January 2019 with a team of 12, COVID hit in March that year and everything was shut down. So because Facebook is social media, obviously. So between March and May, I was on 70 webinars. And then I was on I remember the first 2 I was on, it was like pretty high level people like Kevin and Enrique Medellin down here. And there was like a lot of San Jose, South Bay people here. So we banded together and we did a mastermind. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And they got invited to another one. I was like, okay, everyone is stuck at home. There's nothing to do. I was like, I can do this. Like I have enough tech skills to do marketing, bring people together. So within that first month, I was getting like up to 200 people on a webinar. And that did things like top 1% Alameda County agents, top 1% Contra Costa agents, top broker owners of Berkeley, Alameda, Oakland agents, mindset, motivation, hustle, stuff on investors. I had 3 investors speak on it. I did a couple of runs of like kind of intimate startup alley. Here's 3 tech tools from the CEOs coming to present stuff today. And I did about 35 webinars during the time. All the webinars are recorded, by the way. They're all on YouTube to this day. And I got featured in another one. So I did 70 webinars. First week I did 15 webinars. I was on hosting. And then later on, what I did too was I tagged every single person that was speaking on Zoom, and I synced it to and live zoomed it to Facebook. I tagged every single person, and then later on, I even did marketing emails like, "Hey, 15 classes this week," or then I made templates for the agents to promote my event. So that's Facebook. So during COVID, when literally you cannot do open house, you couldn't step outside, you couldn't even go to the grocery store. People were stuck at home watching my webinars every single day. So when June came, kind of COVID slowed down a bit. At least we can do open houses and kind of get back to work a little bit. I had 17 agents on my team in June. I ran this broker model thing too, because prior to that year, the last year I climbed, I was on every contract. The 88 contracts I did, I was on every single one. And then because I decided to do a team, but then that year, my first year at eXp, during this run, I hired my first agent, my 17th agent or so, where she was on this broker indie model, where it's like, okay, I'm not the broker at eXp, but I'm the independent broker owner. You come work for me and you do deals, you pay me a split. So I built that model out where like, oh, you get to be on Kenny's team, but not really. Like you get the resources and learn from Kenny, but I don't have to be in contract. We scaled that company. April, I signed up for a DBA for Fast Real Estate. And by August, I got it approved. And then we got through the California business thing. And I got approved the DRE and the EXP. So Fast Real Estate was officially born in August 2019. Coming from hashtag fast agent and hashtag team fast. My team was hashtag team fast for a good year and a half. By June, I had 17 agents on my team. By September, I think I had like 50 agents on my team. And then when the year started, I had like, including people onboarding, I had like 110 team members. So we went from like 10 team members to 110 team members within 12 months at our first year here at eXp.
And would you say that was, I mean, obviously you had been doing things for years to build agent attraction.
I mean, even when we left Climb, I interviewed 17 different companies. I met 13 people. There's a whole article on it. I interviewed 13 people in company, and I was on Instagram story. So I would show up all these offices and just like, hey, we're going to go to Red Oak today, or we're going to grab. And people like really showcasing us interviewing all the companies. So a lot of people watched that was like a reality TV show, and I was like, I didn't like this company. I like this company, and it kind of went kind of built an audience there, a thrilling one. So between that and then when the market did come back, outside of these webinars where if I was hosting it, I only spoke 2 minutes. You know, there's 20 people on the screen. I only need to hold 5 minutes, but I got all the street cred. And then, but going on the field, hey, this is how you do a virtual open house today. This is what you do. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff I forgot, but like this is how you run the business. But then that year I kind of stepped out of buyer production. I was still very heavy on listings. I think that year I still went, I had like 100 listing appointments, mostly on Zoom. Oh yeah, this is how you do a Zoom listing appointment. This is how you do a Zoom buyer's consultation. So being active on social, because Facebook was dead by then. By the time end of the 3 months in May, I couldn't even get like 30 people on the Zoom call.
Yeah,
because people were back to work. But that really escalated that. And then again, we started last January with about 100 agents or onboard 100 agents. We started this year with about 220 team members. Right now, about 360 team members or so. This year has been crazy. We've lost well over 130 team members this year, maybe more. Actually, let me see. Yeah, about 130. More than half are just not renewing their licenses right now. So, but we're cranking away. We're adding 25 team members a month. Yeah. Half of them will survive. Maybe 10% of them are like 300 grand producers or higher. So we're just keeping at it.
So you lost 130. I mean, I picked up a lot from that, so I hate to finish on or start on a negative note, but lost 130. Would you say that was simply just because of market changes? People saying, hey,
market changes. A lot of people going solo eXp. I'm not worried about it because we gained net positive 140 team members this year. We started with 220. I'm at 360 right now. So yeah, if no one left my team, I would actually be at like 500 team members right now.
We asked Elias this question. I mean, with a team that big, don't you think? Do some people say, well, I'm just going to get lost in the shuffle? I mean, I feel like how can I really get some attention? How can I get enough training? How can I get enough mentorship? How do you guys handle questions like that?
We make fun of other teams all the time. I know teams of 5 and 10 that never see each other. They all work remotely. They don't do any outings. They don't do any events. They don't post anything on social media together. They don't DM each other. They don't talk to each other on Slack. Here, it also helps that I have 7 retail offices now. I opened my first retail office 2 years ago in August, and I have 7 and 2 co-working spaces here in the Bay Area. Our agents are in offices. 40% of them are, but Elias does group coaching 3 times a week in the morning. About 100 people show up. Our team meetings on average on Tuesday, 100 people show up, and we get into the nitty gritty. His calls, Elias calls, people get really vulnerable. They're going deep. They talk about their life experiences, what's working for them, what's not. Team meeting, we share our wins and sales. Again, we're a really, really, really heavy social media team. So I DM over 100 different people a day, or 100 different people DM a day, and more than half is my team. So we're talking to each other a lot. We're collaborating on stuff a lot. We do a ton of events, panels, happy hours here, holiday parties. People party here quite a bit. Boot camps that we do probably every couple months. We do boot camp. Maybe 60 people are on those calls. So we engage with each other way more than any other team I've seen. We talk to each other. We see each other a lot, and then it was a fun environment. And then literally just being on a team, you build relationships through social. So when people join a team, they post something, they're going to get a ton of comments. You might post something cool and get 50 comments. And I see people that have left the team or not on the team, they'll get 3 comments because we really put the social and social media. And now we're creating collaboration and video and fun videos together all the time. So in fact, running a team of this size is funner than ever. And also because of the 7 locations, our agents go to different offices to work out of and just interact with each other. I've been in 3 different offices this week. Out of the 5 days, I've worked in 3 offices for an entire day each week.
That's pretty insane because the culture is a big thing. So you'd assume that, the people who are leaving are people who aren't plugging in or aren't really just, thinking it's going to be something that they're going to do maybe with something part-time, but they don't want to, shut the other expense.
Our team is really an agent-facing team. But consumers are not going to hire fast real estate agents because of fast real estate. And that was intentional. We're more like Side, I think, where we're actually building the agent's brands. So if you look on our Instagram page, The Fast Agents, there's 0 listings on there. There's 0 reviews. It's really showcasing our agents' personalities. So we're helping agents build a personal brand. And then because of our social reach, and we're cranking out hundreds of reels a week between us, I mean, probably thousands of stories, the agents who come know exactly what they're getting. Early on, we had a lot of people maybe in the first year building this company. They came, even at Climb, they come for something, but then it wasn't what they expected. It's not a good fit. They just maybe came because they saw my sales. They want to be around me. But now we built this company where the DNA of the company, I built it early on, but this whole subculture thing, but people come for different reasons. Because last year we were the first Zillow Flex team. We did $99 million on Zillow Flex last year. So I was like, yeah, come here. We have leads. But this year, completely shut that down. In January, we don't talk about Zillow Flex just because we might have lost the account or we knew it would decrease. So now people come here. We brand ourselves as a team for content creation. So when people come here, it's usually because they saw something fun online, someone posted it, then they start diving deep into people. Yeah. So by the time they land here, they know what they're getting, and they're getting what they're looking for. So the culture is already built. Where we tend to recruit more on the younger side because our agents typically are newer. This is typically a first career for many agents, and a lot of people right out of college. The average age here is probably late 20s. So the whole culture is really built around being social and being visible.
That's good. So what would you say is the main lead sources? Are you providing leads to the agents now, or is it just the social aspect?
Probably 18, for sure, under 20%. Under 20% of our deals are online lead source. Last year, Zillow Flex was 14%. Right now, I'm looking at it, I think it's about 11% of our business. A lot of our new agents are signing up for online lead sources, referral sites like Ojo and OpCity. We have a couple of Redfin partners here, but the other 80% is all organic. It's social media, doing community events. Right now, we had a girl on our team did coat drive with her out of our Fairfield office and collected over $2,000. So this week, she's been posting all day. She has a couple of really cool reels. Look, we're shopping at Costco right now. We're donating back to community, and that's really makes you visible in community. Or sock drives, giving away food, just stuff like that. So in fact, a portion of our team meeting weekly is dedicated completely to community events. So it's just showing up your neighborhoods is key. The newer agents are pounding away at open houses every single weekend. We have open house channel on Slack where there's always opportunities. A lot of them are many of them are door knocking the neighbors before they do the open house during that week. And they're doing cool reels and stuff during that time. There's some cold callers on a team that's like Vulcan 7, Mojo kind of stuff. And then the rest of them are, some of them are calling our databases, but a lot of it is just just social media, just creating content and having people reach out.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So it sounds like most of the people are coming to Team Fast because they're younger, they just got their license, they want to be part of a community, a culture, they want to learn the business, they want to create content, and they want to.
Yeah, and that's tons of fun stuff. And we have tons of training. We have a training library built on Mighty Network with hundreds of videos. Every coaching call, every prior training, every workshop has been recorded in there. And then I scope the internet through my emails, through Facebook, through Instagram, any type of training. Doesn't matter if it's from Keller Williams or Compass or Tom Ferry or Housing Wire or RIS Media, wherever the coach training is, I put it in our side channel. Every event, real life event is in there too. And then, so the training, we have absolutely the best training that I'm aware of just because we're so heavy on it. And then and then give you an example too, California Association of Realtors recognizes 10 rookies of the year. They call it the Rising Star Awards every year. I looked at the numbers, about 9,000 people can qualify. There's a $5 million minimum production threshold. But again, 9,000 people have joined real estate in California in the last 2 years. 3 of the top 10 people that were recognized this year were on our team. Awesome. So it's not just we have this. It's like, hey, here's our proof of success. We have many agents here doing 20 deals plus their first year. They're building a big following online. They love their job. They're having fun. And that's what's making it very attractive to other agents. Like, well, I want to be like that guy. Not a lot of people, there's very few people who actually want to be like me because I built the company. They don't want to work the way I do or do things I do or have people trash talk back. But we built these superstars on the teams. Like, well, I want to be that guy or that person or that girl, and usually those are our top recruiters on the team.
Yeah.
So Kenny, I feel like it's very hard for someone who's a really strong, high production real estate agent just to sort of turn into a business owner. And like you said, you're a guy who sort of loves technology, loves like the technology side of the business. How did you develop into somebody who can run and manage a team of this caliber? I mean, what would you credit that to?
I mean, it's hiring smart people. My first assistant now is like my right hand. She's our executive director. She does all the broker compliant questions, working 4 days a week. And then her assistant, we hired on my first year here at eXp, as her assistant, as my marketing assistant, doing Canva and other stuff. Now she's like one of the most important players on our team. We have 4 people on the leadership team. Elias is one of them, director sales and coaching, and he handles all the recruiting calls if it's a referral from someone. And Karina is my executive director, handles our broker level questions. And then Molly is our director of agent services, handles our entire recruiting department, vendor services, partnerships, stuff like that. So hiring a lot of these people and just kind of giving them my vision and letting them run with it has helped a lot. And, and I study and mentor a lot. There's really no single person that's go to more conferences a year than I do. I hear that a lot. I spend about 130 to 150 days at conferences every year. And then now this year, I'm actually cutting back, trying to go to little niche versions of like stuff. So going to these conferences, learning stuff, and immediately when I hear someone say something that I want to do on stage, I just send it to my team. Hey, what would it take to do this? What quarter should we do this? So I'll say we were the fastest implementer of things. And because of that, like we're constantly ahead of everyone. So just taking action is key. And it helps that we have this many people and, there's enough revenue to try out a lot of stupid ideas. We literally probably wasted over $100,000 this year on things I really shouldn't have bought. And then now when the market shifted, we looked at our stuff and cut a lot of stuff back.
You said something on Instagram the other day, and I hope I say this correctly. You find out what people are really good at, and then you figure out a role for them within the company. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah, that's a post I posted yesterday. Yeah, so this is the literal example I gave you is Karina came in as my assistant. That's the person that we couldn't afford a couple of years ago. I was like, do I work with her or not, or what's going to happen? And now she kind of runs the company, and we originally brought in someone like Molly to help us with marketing because we didn't have anyone else. And then she turns out to be not quite the implementer yet. We don't have in Rocket Fuel, I'm the visionary. We don't quite have a full integrator yet, but now she runs a lot of our stuff, and the people love her. And we tried, and then we've hired a lot of agents. Like someone just left us, but this agent came on. She wants to sell real estate. She has 5, 6, 7 years corporate marketing, and then worked with us for a year. Sells okay real estate, so like a couple homes, and then she asked us for a role. And we built one around her. So she was our senior marketing director, and she built all the assets, all the websites, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, launch and did a rebrand and collateral and flyers and all that for us. And then she recently left, but we didn't know she had that skill set coming in. So I was like, okay, we'll make a role around you. Or we had someone that was a mortgage lender and built his business cold calling people and being organized. We brought them into managing our Zillow stuff, and then turned out it's pretty good. And then we built them to grow the ISA team, and get paid on override on Ojo and Op City. But then they also left the company, so we brought another person in, replaced him that had experience running 60 ISAs at one point, paying $100,000 online leads. So we brought this person in. Now he runs our referral and online leads department. So we're always looking for talent, people with special skill sets that you can't find anywhere else. Like, okay, this person here, we need to keep this person here because I can't find that person like this person. And how do we build this around and maximize their usage?
So the one thing I caught, and I could be wrong, so I want to just clarify it. So if somebody comes into Team Fast, they're basically given everything they need to build their own brand within the company and their own presence and everything from there. So that one makes them present in people's mind who are in their database or sphere. For new leads that come in there, you have a small percentage that come in from Zillow, other lead sources, and then they can personally subscribe on their own to OpCity or Ojo.
And they can't get on Zillow Flex unless they've closed a couple online leads through Ojo and OpCity. That was our new rule this year.
Got it. So you sign them up for Ojo and OpCity, and then if they get good at closing those leads and converting them, then you open up the gates for Flex.
Yeah, but Zillow Flex is not good for us. We're getting at its peak 400 connections a month in summer. Now we're down to 30. 30 leads can't even support 5 people.
Yeah.
Right.
So how many leads, do you have a metric of how many leads that you guys provide to the agents, or that's not the main focus of providing them?
That's not really a main focus. I do get a weekly report breaking down all the lead sources, how many we have, what's pipeline stage, through a very lengthy email from our ISA. We call them the lead scientists, but it's not a focus in the company, and actually deter people from using that unless they just absolutely don't have any more lead sources.
Yeah. I think that makes sense in a way, because if you're going so hard and if you're scaling so fast, you can only scale so fast in the lead gen part of it, because if you over leverage on lead gen, then you're over expending versus having so many agents that can actually just revenue follows people, right? So
yeah,
if you just bring them in and put them out there into the public the same way you did, then you can replicate your results with your sphere and people around you more easily.
Yeah, I mean, it was good when we had it at its peak. We had 60. We did these things like squads too. We broke people up into different groups, and they had crazy ass names like THG Group or Backstreet Men, or it was just funny names every single time. And they had their own. I can't explain it. It was so stupid and so funny. And we did them by rounds. I paid the team leader of those squads money, prizes for best number of sales. And then we did that for a year, like 3 rounds, 3 months, 4 months. But then it stopped working. We tried to hire, then we hired a full-on salesperson. And like that was great because Zillow Flex gets you like maybe what you would normally get in 3 years of business crammed into, you know, a 6-month cycle, paying a referral fee. But we saw the writing on the wall. This is not sustainable. And we actually don't want to become a company that's so dependent on online leads. In fact, like 1 year, we lost over 25 agents to one other independent brokerage in our area. We're in good terms. Like there's no bad blood or anything. But 26 of our agents, now up to 40 actually within the next, including this year, many of our agents left over there because they had Zillow Flex and they had a cap model. We don't have it. So a lot of our agents just wanted a better deal because they were heavy on Zillow Flex and they didn't want to build their own business. So to pay a cap on your own deals, but still pay even a better Zillow Flex where you keep it in your pocket, that seems like better. But now looking back, like because we played the long game, you know, we lost a lot of those agents, but now a lot of those agents probably are not doing that well anymore because they were so dependent on the online leads that they didn't really spend time building their brands. That makes sense. So we took, you know, the initiative early in January this year. I was like, screw Zillow Flex. It's not even part of our recruiting appointment. We don't even bring it up unless it's asked. And then we built brands. And now we, you know, that's how we brought on almost 300 team members this year, not to online leads. Yeah. Last year, it was different. You know, it was definitely online leads as one component of it.
So you use the term squad. Are there little micro teams within your team?
Correct.
So is it fair to say that there's people on your team doing maybe 100 deals and they have a buyer's agent that's also, you know, part of?
Oh, no. So the squads was specific to Zillow Flex, nothing else.
Got it.
Yeah, we just wanted someone to manage weekly accountability check-ins. This is how you run the script, best practices to get our conversion up.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they weren't quite teams. We call them squads.
But there are little micro teams within your team?
We do kind of know, which is how we built it. Probably 1 out of every 4 transactions on our team are between 2 agents. A couple of agents work exclusively with each other. Many don't, because then during COVID, people are now, you know, you're shopping with clients over an hour away, which is pretty normal. I'm in Oakland, but agents in Oakland are selling homes in Stockton, Sacramento, because the pricing and people, you know, leaving the main areas. But because we have offices all over that place, including Stockton and Sacramento, which are both like 89 minutes away, agents are now able to partner with another agent in another market. So that's where like collaboration is huge in our environment. That's not heard of in any company. You typically have your team, you know, especially Keller Williams, you have your team, and it's really weird for your team member to work with any other team member that are in another person's team or just team, or at Compass too, right? Because you have contracts for your team, and then it wouldn't make sense for that team to get an extra override over that team member's deal if they work with their team member. It just gets really weird. So we built it more like a brokerage. Like I can, that's more like because we're like a brokerage, I think we're running more like a Keller Williams model where we're here, we're to support. But the difference between us and KW or many of these franchises that we have multiple locations where the agents actually can go to different locations to work out and interact with each other at a very high level.
So is it fair to say, if I understand that correctly, if I'm in Oakland and I'm on Team Fast and I have a deal that's in Sacramento, instead of me doing like a 30% referral or 25% referral to another agent in that area, I'll partner up with somebody else in Team Fast.
That's a selling point too, because then the Oakland agent now, you know, if you refer someone out, that's typically the end of that your relationship with that referral, right? And the next time they refer someone, they're probably going to give a referral to that Sacramento agent. But now the way we work here, and that's how I built my business, like, again, partnering with so many agents, 3-4 years later, when they call me, they call us more times than that, they're calling me. So now the Oakland agent, the next referral that comes in from there, they're going to reach out to the Oakland agent. They probably will likely also bring in that same Sacramento agent in, but that even if they're buying Sacramento or buying or whatever, but at least that agent gets the referral and they continue to build their brand and business. Yeah, that's different than many, many companies out there.
It's a smart strategy. The only thing is, what's the plan for, you know, next year and for 2024 and after that? How do you strategize so that way you're standing out from the rest of the other teams and brokerages out there?
Social media. This year we hired a video editor. We're cranking out on average about 30, 40 reels a week right now. A lot of it is the talking head style, which it gets kind of boring, but the agents do that until they're comfortable, like just getting on camera and doing the, you know, the scripts and all that, and then start creating custom content. Last week we hired a second and third video editor. So we're going to be cranking out over 100 reels a week. Give you an example. We set up this super nice podcast room 2 weeks ago. Right now it's custom designed. It's like this with a TV in the back. It's a matte finished TV, a Samsung Gallery, with a logo in the back, with lights on the bottom, with a very good lighting setup. And now probably I've seen 20, 30 of our agents come in this week to do really intimate happy holidays videos, like highly professional grade and cut with music, videos to send to their database or post on social media. So stuff like that is what's going to get a lot of people's attention. And now with the videos, we're able to create more and more of that stuff. And then if agents are bringing or doing other concepts and stuff like that, they can send to our team and we'll cut it up. So next year is all in on personal branding and video. And there's like taking social media and really leveling up. And there's no other team I know even has a video editor. No other brokerage I know in entire Bay Area has a video editor. And we're on our third one.
So is it fair to say that if you're on the team, you have access to that? You could just pop in there,
free.
film whatever you want, and
we built a Google type form. You input is this for YouTube? Is this for we're going to do a TV show next year. Is this for YouTube or Reels? And then the style you want, the captions, type of music you want, that you drop all your files in the Dropbox. It goes up into the cloud. And then later on, the editor will get back to you. And here's your 5 Reels. And then you post them however you want.
Sick.
Yeah. And that's kind of how we build it. New agents here have tons of training, foundational stuff. We have a huge mentorship program. The medium agents, I don't know, someone maybe making 100, 200 grand a year, where they're going to get a lot of value is partnering with other agents, ongoing training, building a personal brand, getting into social media. Third, the higher level agents making a couple $100,000 a year. Within our system, agents who partner up with another agent on the team get the benefit of a higher split. So agents here making 400 grand or higher have a 90% split. But any agent working with them on the deal gets a benefit of the higher split. At other companies, traditional brokerages, the newer agent, less producing agent has a lower split, and that difference goes straight to the brokerage, which is common. But here, like, both agents get more value and to keep more money in their pocket. So now it allows these higher producing agent who wants more time back to be able to benefit from running a team inside of our brokerage. And then they also have I think we have 20 virtual assistants. So the video editors are 3 of them. And we have our own marketing department. We take on custom requests. We even have someone, like, give you an example. Her name is Barbie. We have a VA that all she does right now is audit everyone's social media profiles on Yelp, on LinkedIn, on Zillow, and get their files and everything set up. So we have a checklist making sure every single person is updated. And then we have other random VAs that do different things. Any project you can think of. A lot of it's like database entry or cleanup. We even have an ISA team. We have 4 ISAs on team. We're beta testing. 5 agents are doing it right now. It's been going pretty well. We're calling agents existing databases to nurture their leads to hand off to them for a phone call, for a continued conversation. That's a very low profit center for us. It might even be a small loss doing that, but we're able to retain a lot of agents making 300-400 grand a year. So
you have someone virtually doing that, or
all virtual.
Yeah.
So like how we build our company, and me interviewing a lot of agents in that higher production is like, well, where are some gaps in this business? Well, I need a virtual assistant. Well, guess what? We have one. Then I need to get my social media game up. Where you're doing, like, oh, I got to hire a video editor. Well, do you have a place to shoot your content? Do you have someone chopping up for you? Yeah, you can do it one by one, but if you had to pay $50 to do a video, it's not very expensive. But like, you actually have to think about, damn, like, budget. I'll do 3 videos this week, and maybe next week I'll do 5. This month I'll do 10 because I don't want to spend more than $500. But the whole mentality is different. You have unlimited videos you can do. You're just sitting here and chop things up all day. If it sucks, you move on. It doesn't cost you a dime. So we have something in our company for every tier of agent. I think that's why no other company is able to reach what we're doing here. But you also have to plug in and actually do these things.
Yeah. So a brand new agent coming in the team, do they get administrative backend support, or is it just strictly the brand building and then everybody's responsible for closing out and maintaining their own deals?
Like, do they have a transaction coordinator?
Oh, no, they hire their own.
Yeah.
Got it. So it's building it within there. And what's the tier structure? So if a brand new agent comes on the team, what's the split?
Brand new agents, they pay us 50% on the first 3 deals that required, and then they go to 75-25. And then the first 3 transactions, they're required to work with an advisor. We renamed the program from mentor to advisor. The advisor strictly just deals with contract stuff, because they don't deal with deal doctoring that much, or like, hey, how to start a farm, open house. They really just do contract questions. And then the advisor gets 10% of their deal.
That's smart.
And after that, they go to 75-25. If they earn 200 grand a year, they can go up to 80% splits. If they earn 300 grand a year, they go to 85% splits. And then 400 grand a year, they go to 90% split. We're just as competitive or better than most companies in our area.
And you've really built like an awesome culture within a brokerage model that's powered by eXp or brokered by eXp. So it's like there's so many different benefits there that work in your favor, which is pretty awesome. And the agents on the team too.
And then at eXp, we don't tap in that much at 70 hours online training a week. We're in our fast forward eXp group, and then we do Monday masterminds, and then we have like Wednesday mastermind for operators and a bi-weekly mastermind for high level people. So there's a lot. Like if agents just plug in all day, they can. The trick, like, to keeping agents productive is just keeping them busy. They have to be always learning something or doing something.
So how long did it take for you to build that culture to attract agents, to keep them in there and to build it up?
Well, my final year at Klein was when I actually built my own team fast. So we were like, I don't know, we were known for White Claws and stuff. It was a younger team, so like we were able to go do more outings. promote ourselves using just the Team Fast brand. And then it wasn't until we got to eXp, we were like so heavy on online that we're sharing each other and building it out. But the culture got really strong. It wasn't that hard to build a good culture. If you think about it during COVID, because it doesn't matter what company you're at, you're not allowed to go to the office. You can't go talk to people. You can't see people, and everyone had their masks on. So I would say, just to say, I don't care how great a culture was at any company, any brokerage, there was no culture that year. And Zoom calls were most people couldn't even run that Zoom call or had nothing to talk about. So I would say, because of our connection, give you an example. I posted yesterday. It was actually a year ago. So December 22nd last year, I did a picture. We had a white elephant last year. No, sorry, 2 years ago. We had a white elephant 2 years ago when our team was close to 100 people. But everyone dropped off gifts at their local office. We had 2 offices at that time. So I picked up all the gifts and I brought it back to my house with a really cool Christmas tree. And we did a whole white elephant. It was super fun. Happy hour on Zoom. So I think we had like 60 people on Zoom doing that. And then some of the stuff you just can't replicate anymore on building culture. I built my community culture around my 70 webinars. There's another pandemic is not happening where that can be done, and then that taking advantage of the white elephant during that time, that built our culture. So yeah, your other company can do it, but it's not as organic.
Yeah.
3 years ago or 4 years ago, Kenny, did you ever think it would get this big?
No, in fact, I had a big idea to buy a house, and I did. I couldn't qualify. My detail was so low for the first one, but a couple months later, I was able to buy the biggest house in a new community. This is like $900,000 house. I was trying to copy Ryan Serhant, or just have a house people work out of. And then by the time I bought the house, it was delayed last year, November. I was like, all right, this is not going to work because I have like 200 team members. I can't work out this Oakland house. And I also got this 9,000 square feet warehouse we're at now. So my big goal that year, I was like, man, it'd be crazy if I can get to 50 team members. In fact, the Tom Ferry, I have it in my book, the Tom Ferry in 2018. So 3.5 years ago, I wrote my big goal, like big, hairy, audacious goal was $200 million in sales volume with 30 agents. That was as big as I thought. I was like, that's crazy if I get there. Cause I did 56 million. Go from 56 million to 200 million is, pretty wild, I think, in a year or 2 years. And when the 56 million year was before eXp, we came here first year, I hit 127 million. So we doubled in 1 year. And then last year we hit 693 million. So we doubled our business 1 year, then we 5x'd it. So we actually like close to 12x'd our business in 2 years. And this year we're up 10%. In 11% in sales. So yeah, so now I'm like, what I'm gonna do? Well, I told people I would do 2 billion this year, and we're falling short. We're doing 760 million. The market shifted, but next year I'm forecasting to do a 1.4 billion. I'm just doing agent count. I have almost 400 agents by mid-year. Average of the year, I probably have like 500 agents. Really, I have 700 agents by the next year. Let's just say 400. No, sorry, close to 700 agents by the next year. So I'm just taking an average of 500 agents through the year and then giving each person 4 transactions. That's 2,000 transactions. And the average price is 700 something. So that's $1.4 billion in sales next year.
And you said something, I think you whispered it. You said, I'm going to start a TV show. Is that what you're doing, or you're just joking around?
Oh, that's we're dealing with retention issues just because people are looking for cheaper options or leaving the team, saying eXp. So we got to start having things that are more exclusive. So the video editors is just one small thing we do here. And then next year, I want to really level up the social media thing and build a TV show. Like I think all the Netflix shows are corny as hell. I don't watch many of them, but the more recent one I watched, I really liked Buying Beverly Hills, the agency.
Yeah.
And because they mostly focus on their team members, it wasn't a lot of catty. In fact, the only drama was between 2 guys. I didn't finish the season, but the 2 guys, I was like, okay, they're not creating drama on purpose. They're running a business. Like, okay, that's kind of cool. I was thinking like hiring we have our own in-house studio and executive producer, but he doesn't do too much stuff outside. I was like, why don't I hire a videographer next year and start showcasing the personalities? I almost have 400 team members. There's going to be some funny stuff in there, and we do a lot of events showcasing what they're doing and kind of turn it into an online TV show on YouTube. So that's going to probably create more retention and recruiting for a company, because you're only going to be on it if you're part of the team.
That's true. That's a good idea. So out of all the seminars and the things that you go to, you said it was like 100 and change. I know none of those ideas are probably being shared there. Where do these ideas come from? What inspires that?
Their ideas or my ideas or what?
Your ideas, like to start a TV show, but you go to all these seminars, but I know they're not teaching you that. Or
if I see something or hear something more than a couple of times, like I was like, I probably should think about that, because this TV show thing, I mean, a lot of people have done it, but I really like Veronica Figueroa in Florida. She showcased some of the stuff that she was doing. They recorded her leadership meeting summit. They went up like a house somewhere. I was like, people got really intimate. It was the behind the scenes stuff. The TV show is going to show more behind the scenes stuff and not just trying to make us look cool, because right. These are real people realize. And then in song that Buying Beverly Hills, like it sounded like small ideas, but after starting Buying Beverly Hills, like, okay, I like this a lot. Like I want to show the people more, and that kind of escalated. So, and then the ideas are from conferences. If I hear something more a couple of times, I was like, okay, I should look into this a little more. That's the thing about going to these conferences. I stopped going. I'm not going to big ones anymore. I'm trying to go like more unique stuff. Give you an example. Like I joined Neil Holmes Mastermind, so I'm going to go to that. He's a video content creator, and like Ryan Pineda is doing a new summit called Tyke Summit in Vegas next month. I want to go to that. So like the Tom Ferries, the Mike Ferries, the big ones, the common ones. Like I don't really learn too much from it. So those are ones I'm taking a step away from going to, and try to focus on these like mini masterminds where it might be 20 to 50 people and it's more intimate and like a little more higher level conversations.
So is it safe to say that your assumption of the future is going to be more towards social media, brand creation per person? That's like,
oh yeah, 100%. You're seeing that in the space right now. Like a lot of influencers are trying to get into video and market space because it's untapped money. And something the future is like social and is a big team building. So like coaches like Chet Black is blowing up because it's really focused on coaching and recruiting. And then there's like went to something that Lift Off Asia Norman held, like a video conference thing, 2-day summit in marketing. It was huge. And then me and my coach Raquel Quinet, I think Raquel has like 60 coaching clients in her mastermind. Me and Raquel are gonna create a coaching program launching next month. This is actually the first time announcing it. Focus on team leader, brand building, and content creation. Because there's a huge gap right now of people not knowing what to do. And like stuff I talked about today that can be done and to really scale teams. And then all of this just helps more opportunities to recruit. All team leaders are focused on recruiting this year.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Still early stage. We're gonna set up like a mastermind where we do group coaching and then create experiences at least twice a year. When I go do some ideas we play around is that we all go to like, because she did something with her group, a women's group in her mastermind where they all went like business building. We all went to Mykonos and just did a summit there. But the idea is like bring people to really cool locations and then outside the monthly or group coaching calls, and then also create the experiences there, and then bring in video people to create a lot of these reels and content. So now we're actually doing the content for the people through the experiences. And then during the times that we aren't physically on site, we would teach them how to build their brands. And then possibly we'll do like regional stuff, smaller, intimate masterminds, and get together events so we can create more stuff together. So it's really not just teaching them, actually just doing for them too.
Awesome, man. Kenny, thank you so much. I'm conscious of our time. And I want to respect your time as well. This has been an overwhelming amount of value. We really do appreciate you spending some time with us today.
And sharing
you're busy.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Kenny, if somebody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to do so?
At Instagram, at Kenny Fast, at Kenny_Fast.
All right. And before you jump off, best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Just speed execution. If you hear something, just do it. Like stop second guessing stuff. If someone's smarter than you, richer than you, more successful than you, and he tells you to do something, and you hear it, or if you hear it more than a couple of times, you should just do it.
Man, it doesn't matter if it's perfect.
Yeah.
Action's better than perfection. I love that. Well, Kenny,
Yeah.
This has been awesome. Thank you again, man.